out here at Detroit Consortium High School after Consortium's 81-44 win over Dayton Dunbar, joined alongside TJ Kelly of IPSbasketball.com. A game everyone was looking forward to, and you wondered if Dayton was going to be able to keep up with Consortium's pace. And obviously in that first half, Consortium was able to build a 25-point lead. It just wasn't possible.
Right. I'll tell you this. If you ask Dunbar's coach, there probably was a little bit of home cooking as well as trying to get everybody on the road and on way back to Dayton this afternoon, as we do have some snow out here in Michigan. But yeah, I think that at the end of the day, Consortium ruled the game, and Josh Jackson was just phenomenal throughout the entire game, as far as being able the ability to pull up for jumpers wherever he wants to. Get to the basket. He played 4 positions. He rebounded. He's blocking shots with 2 hands. And then the addition of UTEP's future UTEP minor Vince Hunter. They're pretty much loaded. And even the second wave of players that come off with off the bench for Consortium, they're just a strong group altogether. And Dunbar being who Dunbar is, obviously with DeMarion Jeter, AJ Harris, they've got a pretty nice team as well.
Talking about Josh specifically, because I was able to see him earlier in the year, and you saw a kid who still a freshman, learning to play the game a little bit, adjusting to playing with this style, this tempo. But
yes,
today I come back and see him; he's just oozing with confidence. It looks like he's really just taking his game, to another level, which is amazing because he still has 3 more years after this year.
And I think that's the phenomenal thing. When so many times when we talk about freshmen, which for good reason, they really shouldn't be talked about that much, just because they do have 3 more years. But there are not a lot of ifs when you talk about Josh Jackson. He is 6'6". He is a phenomenal basketball player who can handle the ball, who shoots the ball well, who makes a lot of shots that are at a high degree of difficulty. He rebounds. He has the athleticism. So when you talk about ifs, yes, he does need to mature and get stronger. He does need to mentally get stronger, and there are some lapses from time to time. Just how he deals with certain situations. I'd say this. He's a guy that's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Maybe working with the referees a little bit more. Because after a while he's going to have to realize that this will be a learning process that that he can help evolve his game. Because I don't think that there's anybody's going to see an end to where his basketball is going to end.
Talk about A.J. Harris in a second, but talking about his teammate Vince Hunter, who's obviously going to UTEP, which I think is a steal. I think Vince is a phenomenal player. Let's talk about his game in the Mr. Basketball race and how you think he might fit, into something like that, because he's played exceptional this year.
Well, I think that a couple of things have to go in the factor of being in the Mr. Basketball race. I think that being on a winning team, obviously, that helps. And then, Vince is definitely an under-the-radar player in some aspects. I think that when you talk about upside in everything, I think that he's right up there with a James Young, with a Derek Walton, as far as the seniors that go in Michigan. And yes, I think that we have 5 finalists for the Mr. Basketball Award here in Michigan, and he should definitely be one of those. He's a phenomenal rebounder. He's a phenomenal scorer. Obviously, he can play above the rim. I think that one thing is not so much noted that he's noted for is his defense, because there are a lot of guys that, after they have their shot blocked once or twice, there's an intimidation factor that goes along with it. So, yeah, he does a great job as well on that end.
Not the greatest day for A.J. Harris. He finished with 12 points, kind of a frustrating day. But talk about his game. He's a lefty who can do a lot of things. And sure, he's limited in height, but he's also a guy who can get things done regardless of that.
Well, what he doesn't have in height, you can start looking at heart, and that's one thing that I definitely that's one thing I've loved about watching him play ever since he was playing for the Cincinnati Knights down in Orlando as a 14 and under player with Luke Kennard. There was also some other guys on that team as well, but he just does a great job of commanding much of the time the tempo. Obviously, this game might have been a little bit more difficult than other games, but and I don't think this is any reflection on this game in particular. Is any reflection on what his game really is. His ability to command the floor. He did have a bit of an off-shooting game, but it wasn't like they were air balls. There were balls that were halfway down or hitting the back of the iron or even hitting the front of the iron. So. Believe me, I think that if he had the opportunity to play in this gym a couple of more times, maybe get used to, the proximity of the walls and everything, then, I think that that 20, 25 points would definitely be something that you could work with.
You can find TJ at IPSbasketball.com. I appreciate the time, TJ.
Hey, no
Detroit
Thank
Consortium wins 81 to 44, over Dayton Dunbar.